All right, time to set up for the morning briefing. We're going to get into that bluefin tuna. I know there's some yellows being seen at San Clemente Island here this morning. And of course, my surf fishing buddy is here. Let's just take a look. Oh, I see fish in the bucket again. He was kind of waving at me saying, not that good today, but hey, it looks pretty good. Here we go. Let's take it off. Oh, shoot. Come on. What do you mean not too good? There's a whole bunch of fish in there again. Nice going. All right, we're going to cover it all, including the surf fishing, as I get ready to set up for the morning briefing. And guess what? You'll have some entertainment behind me because I'll set up so you can see this gentleman and see if he's catching fish in the surf. You know what time it is. We're moving up on the MB. Let's get into it.
Guys, approaching the bait tank is really important in how you do that because it's a matter of efficiency here. We want to get that bait out in the water as soon as possible because the simple fact is that the longer they spend outside of water, the faster they die off. So what I like to do when I approach the bait tank is I keep the rod in the crook of my arm like so. And it keeps the rod from sticking a deckhand in the eye, but it also keeps, as you can see, I have a good amount of length, a good length of line out here. And it allows me to not have to reach and kind of extend myself any further to hook the bait.
To join us on a reverse 2.5-day trip on board the beautiful Apollo out of 22nd Street Landing, departing June the 11th at 10 a.m. Wow, does that give us incredible range, and returning 7 p.m. on June the 13th. This is going to be a great fish. It's got all kinds of possibilities, from bluefin tuna to white sea bass to halibut and so much more. Friedman Adventures Charters puts you in the fish. Make sure you text us today so you can get on a trip and you just might catch the fish of your dreams. Friedman Adventures Charter, 657-227-6459.
What a fish! Yeah!
Hey, good Friday morning, my dear friends, and welcome to beautiful Surfside, California on an absolutely gorgeous day. The weather is absolutely perfect. The sun's starting to peek through the clouds. The ocean is flat calm. I've got entertainment lined. Hey, look at that. Right on cue. Nice fish. Another yellowfin croaker. It looks like it's been very, very good here, even with this really off-color, ugly-looking water, to be perfectly candid with you. This algae bloom that we have going on here. These fish have been biting full speed, and it looks like another good morning. We're going to talk bluefin tuna. We are going to talk yellowtail at San Clemente Island, a white sea bass over there at Catalina Island on board the Pursuit. The Pride got into some more bluefin tuna out of 22nd Street, along with the Apollo. We leave Tuesday morning. I can't wait for that. A huge flock of pelicans headed this way. Just way too much excitement, including Young's Fishing Tackle yesterday in Bellflower, California, the ribbon cutting ceremony. I have that and so much more. You know what time it is. It's time for the morning briefing. Good morning, my friends. Oh my God, is that good? And is it great to be with you all here this morning? If you don't mind, hit that like button. We deeply appreciate it when you do that. Share these videos with a friend. Of course, subscribe to the Friedman Adventures YouTube channel. Click the bell. You will be notified when there is new content. And you can follow us on Instagram, on Facebook, on TikTok, and of course, Apple Podcast and Spotify. We'll get you in touch with the very latest. Keep you in touch with it all throughout the year. If you have tax problems or unfiled taxes, Tim Marquez is a great Friedman Adventures family member. He's been doing taxes for 35 years. Give Tim a call today. And if you have heating and or air conditioning needs, please give our good friend John Lopez at Efficient Heating and Air Conditioning a call today. All right, the over-under during the morning briefing. We'll count that fish. The over-under is 3. Will that man catch 3 fish over that or under that? Okay, the over-under is 3 fish. The Pelican Patrol. I wish you could see it. Full force here right now. You might see it fly through there in a second. All right, so it's 3. So if he catches 4, it's the over. If he catches 2, it's the under. If he catches 3, it's even. Put your comments down below. I want to see who can nail it on this gentleman back here. All right, let's jump into south of the border real quick here and talk about Ensenada, because down there 70 miles below the border, we've seen some pretty brisk action on bluefin tuna. Our friend Arnie Man. Arnie Man's a great guy. He loves to eat palomitas when we do our show. He eats popcorn and watches the Friedman Adventures YouTube channel. Arnie has a podcast, but he's also an outstanding fisherman to bluefin tuna. Arnie, nice going, my friend. Good to see you pumping out some nice fish. A lot of that fish down there in Ensenada is caught on the trolled Mad Mac lures. That's how they get a lot of their fish. However, they'll catch them on, a Daiwa Sakana or a Colt Sniper. They pull up on an area of fish, a foamer or a bunch of fish that are puddling around, and toss it in there. They'll catch them that way. Also very effective at times are poppers down there in that neck of the woods. So you do have those different ways to take the fish. Arnie with a couple of fish. Our friends at Blackfin Sport Fishing. Nice going, boys. Good to see you guys catching some more bluefin tuna down there. So they are getting some daytime bluefin down in Ensenada, only 70 miles down below the border. Things are looking good down in that neck of the woods. You can also find some awfully big bonito, and on most days, you're going to get a bite on those bigger bonito. That's around there. There's a few more kelp patty yellowtail starting to show up. Most of the San Diego boats are starting to scratch at it. Let's not get carried away. There's no big numbers of that yellowtail, but there's a little bit. So I think you have a shot at that. Calico bass fishing around Punta Banda, that pristine, gorgeous Baja coast has been spectacular here recently. And also, you can find some excellent rock fishing if you need to top off with that, or even if you just wanted to focus in on it, keep that in mind. It's For Real Sport Fishing. Our friend Louis Prieto's at your service. Find Louis on Facebook and book a trip right away. Hey, we were at Young's Fishing Tackle yesterday. I've got to tell you, Kevin and his wife Cecilia and his 3 kids and everybody who showed up for their grand opening. Now, they've been there for a year and a half, but the official ribbon cutting ceremony was yesterday. Friedman Adventures was there to carry it live. Go back and watch it. It's a lovely moment in time. A hard-working, good family providing you with excellent service and a great tackle store. Visit Young's Fishing Tackle in Bellflower, California. You'll see exactly what I am talking about. All right, let's get into the San Diego bluefin tuna situation with you. Let me paint a picture for you, okay? Because my goal here on the morning briefing is to let you know exactly what is going on. And it's very difficult when you have so many boats out there that, one boat has the trip of a lifetime, another guy catches 0. So that is exactly the case. However, it spiraled downward last night a little bit. There were some exceptional, really great catches, but there was some slow fishing that went on. And I got to tell you, right as the sun was setting, I was talking to Max on the Highliner, and Max says, Phil, we are seeing a lot of fish out here. Fingers crossed that they are going to bite. On the Highliner, they ended up with 7 fish, and Max said he thinks they snagged more than they actually hooked in the mouth. And Max told me that, so I can tell you that it's an indication the fish weren't really feeding or biting. There's so much fish that you actually snag them, but they weren't feeding. So that light switch needs to pop back on again for most of the boats. It was a tough night. Now, also, one thing that you have to factor in here is the grade of fish, the size of the fish. It is phenomenal. And I'm going to go back and talk about some previous catches as well as what went on last night. But a lot of 100+ pound bluefin tuna. So you get one and you're doing cartwheels, man. That is some really excellent stuff. Apollo, 1.5 day trip, 22nd Street Landing. We'll be on board there on Tuesday morning. I can't wait for that. 13 fish, most of them over 100 pounds. Then they go in the daytime when the bluefin tuna bite is not all that great. They go catch a bunch of nice, beautiful reds. And they also have the alternative to go to San Clemente Island and look at some yellowtail. I'll get into Clemente here in a moment. Royal Polaris, wow, they have had some outstanding fishing going on here recently. Big fish, tough fish. You've got to tackle up properly if you're on any of the boats out of San Diego, day and a half or better. And that means 100 to 130 pound spectra, 200 pound bite leaders on those jigs, and jigs that go from 250 grams to 450 500 grams. Depending on wind and current and the depth of the fish, you may be switching it up. But there are some really big fish, as you can see on the Royal Polaris. They've been getting them, and so have several other boats. It's been really good. That is not to say that it was a wide open night last night, but hopefully that light switch is going to go on. I do know some guys that are going to go check out other areas here tonight. The Highliner is probably going to be one of them, so we'll be keeping you up to date on that very, very closely. On the new low-end Kale Bryles, did I get that right, Kale? I hope I didn't mispronounce your name. Nice, big kite fish. Way to go. Intrepid the other day, they got in with 50 plus bluefin tuna. 50 fish over the 100-pound mark, including a 270-pounder. The Polaris Supreme got in yesterday from a 2-day trip. They had limits of bluefin tuna, 70 fish. 70 of their bluefin tuna, 100 to 180 pounds. I'm telling you, I don't have the words to really paint how great a bite that is. It is phenomenal, phenomenal. And the Polaris Supreme started out their 3-day trip with 57 bluefin tuna to 150 pounds. They're currently moving up on day 3. By the way, on that over-under, I'm not seeing what's going on there. So if the guy goes over the 3, hits 4, let me know in comments down below. I would deeply appreciate that. A little bit more hit and miss on that fish, as we have been telling you out of San Diego, at least last night. But that can all change here. And a few daytime fish. You saw that new low-end kite fish. There has been some fish during the daytime. If you're fishing one of the full-day boats out of San Diego, like the San Diego, the Liberty, or the Mission Belle, you're going to want to have this tackle, and you're going to want to have it for your daytime trips also. 40-pound fluorocarbon is what you're going to fly line with. 80-pound fluorocarbon is what you're going to sink or rig fish with. And I've already talked to you about that jigging down deep. And if you're throwing a Daiwa Sakana or a smaller 120-gram jig on a foamer of bluefin tuna, you're definitely going to want, oh, he's got a ray. That doesn't count. It's not a real fish. All right, then you're definitely going to want to be fishing the heavy. I like 50, 60. As heavy as you can. It's a reaction bite, so that's what you want to do. Speaking of daytime fishing, San Diego, man, seeing a lot of fish, catching big bonita, only one bluefin tuna. Hard to get bites on the bluefin in the daytime right now. It's very, very difficult. It is a nighttime bite. And as I mentioned, that sputtered a little bit last night, but we have a nice weather forecast. In fact, I looked ahead to our Apollo trip. Looks like we're going to have gorgeous weather, and that's half the battle right there. You guys who are on the Apollo trip, I'm going through a little bit of what we'll need to be tackled up with, and what I think the game plan is. It can all change. Tuesday's a long ways away in this game. All kinds of stuff can change, but we are more than likely going to be fishing bluefin tuna at night, and then daytime we'll load up on the cod, I'm sure. At least one of those days, 20-ounce torpedo sinkers is what you want to have for that, and then we might even do some island fishing. So bring your various top shots. Again, this is just what it looks like here on Friday morning. Tuesday's a ways away. I'll keep you in touch with all of that and more, so keep that in mind. Daniel Hadaway and the Island Spirit out of Ventura Sport Fishing are out on their halibut special here this morning. They'll be out again tomorrow, and then kids fish free on Sunday. All you have to do is bring a kid 12 and under, paid adult, the kid goes for free. Island Spirit, Ventura Sport Fishing, 805-676-3474. Let's talk islands, Coronado Islands, a few yellows here and there, some bonita, occasional little shot of barracuda, and good rock fishing there at the Coronado Islands. Over there at San Clemente Island, Jeff Markland on the Thunderbirds already got a big fat yellow on board, and they're seeing some schools of Forkies over there looking around, working hard on the Thunderbird out of Davies Lock at Newport Beach. There's been a few more calico bass taken here recently. The Fury had 50 the other day, and there's also a little bit of bonita and good rockfish there, so you can top up with some good rockfish. At Catalina Island, we continue to see some progress being made as the water warms up. The pursuit with 16 anglers, 4 halibut yesterday, a white sea bass to go along with it, and some rockfish as they went out in the deeper water and gave that a look also. They give that surface bite on the pursuit a good hard look. Make sure you have some fillets by getting out in the deeper water and fishing rockfish, and then maybe even going back in and looking at that surface bite again. So Cat is showing some significant signs of life. The El Patron runs out of Long Beach sport fishing and they've got some great trips for you. You can get on the El Patron by going to www.longbeachsportfishing.org. We have a special June 24th trip that you can book online there. Make sure you get on the El Patron. Getting up here to the Channel Island area as well. We'll talk Santa Barbara Island, and at SBI there's some white sea bass. In that neck of the woods we've also seen fair halibut bite, great rock fishing, and the Channel Islands in general, a lot of white sea bass that still don't want to bite. They have got lockjaw. There's a lack of squid, which I think is contributing to that lack of a manifestation of a big white sea bass bite, but they are definitely there, and hopefully that's going to get rocking and rolling here one of these days. In the meantime, you're going to have to suffer through big lings and giant reds and all kinds of rockfish. It's been spectacular. The gray line had 4 halibut, so there's a little bit of halibut up there, and as I mentioned, the Island Spirit is out fishing halibut here today. We'll see how they do in that bite. I'm hoping they're going to come up with some good fishing. On the local scene, now I'm talking half and 3/4 day boats down in San Diego, we're seeing some superior calico bass fishing down in that neck of the woods. New Seaforth, I think they released 200 bass and had 100 keepers, something like that. It was really great on the daily double. Good sand and calico bass fishing. The water's starting to warm up. A surer sign that spring is here is that calico bass bite. So I am loving that. That was really excellent. We're seeing some of that at Dana Wharf and starting to see a little bit of it up here in the LA Orange County area. Marina Del Rey with their nighttime twilight's been pretty darn good. Redondo picking at a few bass. However, having said that, predominantly whitefish, rockfish, sheep's head, that kind of stuff. As the water is slowly but surely warming up, and we're under the influence of this La Nina, which is going to keep our water cooler than normal. So we'll see how we wind up. And paper bags or plastic bags do not count in the over-under. All right, so some pretty good rock fishing and some really good bass fishing down there in the San Diego area. I am loving that. It really looked good. Don't forget, if you need something for Promar Ahi, a net, a gaff, you want to get the GT fluorocarbon line. The new fluorocarbon is out, or you want to grab some great jigs or anything else, lobster hoop nets, go to promarahi.com and put in FA, Friedman Adventures, FA at checkout for your 10% savings. You're going to want to do that. In the surf, we see some pretty good barred perch fishing yesterday on this very beach, like this gentleman right here, Michael Limon, and his grandpa, Dan Lightfoot, were having the time of their life, catching all kinds of yellowfin croaker. Really good fishing here yesterday down in Huntington, Dog Beach, the San Diego beaches. We're still seeing barred perch, a few halibut, and some good spot fin croaker fishing. This guy would be catching spot fin because he's fishing sandworms, which is a really good bait for spot fin. This guy would be catching them. He's been catching straight yellowfin croaker, so that spot fin croaker bite, I think, is off a little bit in the distance. We had a little time period where we were catching some all the way up in the Santa Monica Bay. Doug Tikt, good buddy, Friedman Adventures family member. Good morning, Doug. He's been catching pretty good barred perching up there around County Line. We see a few stripers up there around Ventura, and also we have seen some really excellent fishing for barred perch up there in that neck of the woods also. Don't forget, just head on down to my friends at Big Fish Bait and Tackle on the corner of Seal Beach Boulevard and Pacific Coast Highway. They've got a free giveaway every single month. They're giving away a beautiful custom surf fishing rod at Big Fish. You need to go down there, buy their ruler, and then you're in. And they have all the details of how to upload your video to their Instagram page and everything else. But you could be the recipient, the winner of a beautiful custom fishing rod if you go to Big Fish Bait and Tackle, and you can get all your tackle, and you can get all the bait you'll need to be successful. I know Dan Lightfoot stopped off there yesterday, bought a bunch of worms, and then put the wood to these fish. So really, really good stuff. Uh-oh, looks like a biter going on back there. I don't know where the over-under is right now. Somebody put a comment and let me know so I know what's going on my own show here this morning. Hopefully he's got another yellowfin croaker. The surf has been very, very good here recently. Hey, Lake Havasu, I just thought I'd drop in on my friend Don Brockman. Hey, Donnie, good morning to you. Always good to see you, my friend. Limits of stripers there for Don and some friends. The striper bite has been extraordinary at Lake Havasu if you're into that. All right, my friends, what can I tell you? We're going to be watching the bluefin tuna bite. We're going to be, looks like a little perch there. I can't tell if it's a barb perch or something else, but that is definitely a countable fish. This guy is putting the wood to him. A lot of fun here in the surf. All right, we'll watch it closely for you. Bluefin tuna. Go back and watch the Youngs tackle ribbon cutting ceremony. Great family, great times yesterday. Thank you so much, Kevin, Cecilia, for inviting us and having us there. We thoroughly enjoyed it. And of course, I'll be watching all the fishing and providing you with lots more interesting content as we go along today. In the meantime, have a great day, and I hope to see you really, really soon.